I'm at North Olmsted, Ohio, Giant Eagle. Someone just stabbed a kid and a lady in the parking lot.
Child, he's bleeding all over the place. We're at North Olmsted, Giant Eagle.
The sun was high and warm on the afternoon of June 3rd, 2024, in North Olmsted, Ohio. It was a perfectly ordinary day, which made the horror that was about to unfold all the more shattering. Earlier that day, a woman named Bianca Ellis had wandered into a Volunteers of America thrift store. Her mind, a place known to be tormented by the voices and delusions of schizophrenia for over a decade, was in a state of turmoil unseen by the other shoppers. She moved through the aisles not as a customer with a purpose, but as a specter drawn by an unfathomable compulsion. In the kitchenware section, her gaze fixed upon a rack of knives. For nearly a minute, she looked them over, her hand eventually closing around the handle of one. A kitchen knife with a blade that would later be measured to have sunk 4 inches deep into a child's small body. She concealed it, and perhaps another, and left the store without paying. Just next door, the Giant Eagle grocery store buzzed with the mundane rhythm of a Monday. Inside, Margot Wood was finishing her shopping. Her 3-year-old son, Julian, was with her, likely chatting from the seat of the shopping cart, oblivious to the world beyond his mother's protective presence. They were a picture of normalcy, of a simple errand on a summer day. As Margot wheeled Julian out into the bright parking lot, loading her groceries into the car, 2 worlds, one of innocent routine, the other of profound internal chaos, were on a collision course. Bianca Ellis, now armed, had entered the Giant Eagle. It's unknown what she saw or what her intentions were inside, but as she exited, her path intersected with that of Margot and Julian. In that moment, something in Ellis's fractured psyche fixed upon them. There was no history, no argument, no reason. Only a target for a storm of rage and illness that had been building for years. She began to follow them. Margot, preoccupied with the task of securing her groceries and her son, was vulnerable. The cart with Julian still in it was her immediate focus. It was then that Ellis moved. She didn't walk, she ran. A sudden, violent surge across the asphalt. Before Margot could even process the threat, Ellis was upon the cart. She raised the stolen knife and brought it down on the 3-year-old boy. The attack was frenzied and brutal. Julian was stabbed multiple times. One thrust pierced his tiny face. Another, with devastating force, plunged into his back, a wound so deep it proved fatal. A mother's primal instinct took over. Margot Wood threw herself at the attacker, a shield of sheer love and terror, trying desperately to stop the violence and save her child. But the knife turned on her, slashing and stabbing her as she fought against the unimaginable. As quickly as it began, it was over. The frenzy passed, and a chilling calm descended upon Ellis. She simply turned and walked away, the bloody knife still in her hand, leaving behind a scene of utter devastation. A bleeding mother crouched over her mortally wounded son in the parking lot of a grocery store. The ordinary sounds of the afternoon, the traffic, the distant chatter, were now punctuated by Margot's screams. The response was swift. Police arrived within minutes, finding Ellis walking nearby, still clutching the weapon. Her arrest was quiet, devoid of struggle, as if she were detached from the horrific act she had just committed. In the aftermath, Julian Wood was rushed to the hospital, but his injuries were too severe. The beautiful, vibrant little boy, who had been happily riding in a shopping cart just moments before, was gone. The legal process that followed was a long and painful journey for Julian's family. Ellis was found incompetent to stand trial at first, sent to a psychiatric hospital for treatment. For 5 months, she was medicated and stabilized until she was deemed restored to competency. At her trial in October 2025, her attorneys argued she was not guilty by reason of insanity, detailing a long history of mental hospitalizations and a broken mind that did not know right from wrong. But the prosecutors showed the jury the video of her carefully selecting the knife. They argued that her purposeful actions, stalking the family, launching the attack, and calmly leaving, proved she knew it was wrong. A forensic psychiatrist testified that while she was ill, it was rage, not insanity, that drove the blade. On October 15th, 2025, the jury agreed with the prosecution. Bianca Ellis was found guilty of the aggravated murder of Julian Wood and the attempted murder of Margot. The narrative that began on a sunny afternoon in a parking lot ended in a courtroom over a year later. But for Julian's family, the story never ends. It is a permanent, painful chapter in their lives, a day when a random act of violence, born from a tragic intersection of mental illness and rage, stole a little boy and shattered a world.